everybody, and welcome to a Slice of Gaming podcast, episode 103 for June 21st, 2025. I am your host, The Uncharted Wolf, and I'm joined today by a reoccurring guest, someone who was here just last week, you and me, Jackie G.
Hello, thank you for having me back. I can't have pissed you off too much.
Yeah, really. I mean, you didn't really say anything crazy last week, so I think the audience is cool with you for now. You saved the takes for the Discord, okay?
Yeah, this is
On
true.
the podcast, you're all chill and nice, and it's like, wow, this guy's cool. And then you want to talk shit in the Discord. I was like, okay, I want y'all to understand the things this man has said to me.
Yeah, probably the most toxic person. It's okay.
No, trust me, that's bench. But yeah, today, pretty chill news week again. I think people are still kind of reeling from SGF, not SGF. Oh my god, yeah, SGF. Okay, my brain just shut off for a second. But yeah, I like a lot of the summer showcases. Something I realized I completely forgot to put in the doc was the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, which we will talk about. But yeah, pretty slow news week otherwise. It's just a lot of like random news tidbits here and there. But I think we're about ready to just jump into it, Jack. I mean, you and me, we got a pretty good chemistry going. So I think we can get through this stuff pretty quickly and pretty chill episode overall.
Yeah, let's get on with it.
If you guys want to find us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, like the podcast, and also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at A Slice of Gaming. With that, I think we should get right into it. I forgot to put it in the actual doc, but the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct did happen. It was on June 18th. About 15 minutes. Jack, you watched this live. I watched this live. Let me just get your off-the-top impressions. How are you feeling about Donkey Kong Bonanza?
So, actually, I didn't manage to watch it live. I tuned in a bit later. But
well, it's potato.
yeah. I think I really wish that the thing I took away from it the most is I really wish Pauline hadn't leaked months ago. I think that would have been an amazing surprise to get her here. However, that being said, this game looks phenomenal, man. I was already like into it. I think we even said last week I was a little nervous. The people coming out of the demos were a bit lower on it, so I think I made the joke to you in here that there's no way this game hits a 90. It's impossible. Everyone hates it. Yeah, it looks amazing. It might now.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I went from someone who was like, "Oh, I'm in," but like, I need to see more, and now I'm like, "Yep, I've seen enough. No more." I'm super into what you guys are doing here. I think the one worry I had was like from like people like Andy Robinson, and I know Paris Lily also, like people who played the demo who were like, it's all right. Like, I'm not into the whole like virtual slice that they showed off. That is my cat messing with my water bottle. I am sorry if that was caught on the mic. But yeah, just the vertical slice I think wasn't the best from what I heard from the demo over at the Nintendo events. So I was a little skeptical going in, but watching this direct, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm in on whatever you guys are doing here. It seems like it's going to be a very, very fun time. I'll talk about the developer in a second, but it very much has a lot of the Odyssey vibe, especially, dude, when you look at the shops, I'm like, yeah, that's Mario Odyssey. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, the UI does look very familiar.
But yeah, I mean, I guess if I had to say, what's like the one big takeaway from this direct that you're like, damn, that's the thing I want to mess around with the most, and like, just I want to know more about.
Man, I think just the movement options in general look a lot better. Like when I found out that all the face buttons basically were smash left, smash up, slash down, slash right, I was like, oh, this means like it's gonna be like pretty mediocre movement wise. It's gonna be fun, but it doesn't look much like a platformer. Whereas now seeing it in action, it's like, oh no, there's far more to play with. The level design isn't just caves, which yeah, sure, maybe it was never going to be that, but I do love how like they're not even they keep saying they're underground and they're not even like limiting themselves with that. They're just going insane. Um, yeah, I think that is my main takeaway. Is it just looks far more fun to play around in.
I think for me is the fact that there's a jukebox option, which Mario Kart World doesn't have, which is just
Yeah,
funny. But I mean, yeah, in general though, like just the amount of like stuff you could do on the side, like outfits that all change kind of what you're able to do, and like there is much collectathon goodness. The list system for Mario Odyssey is there, and it's like, damn, that just looks fun to like looking at it. Like my fucking OCD like brain of I want to collect everything in a video game just gets super super excited just to like, oh, I'm gonna like read through that list and just mess around in this world for a long time, just trying to get everything possible. And also just that jukebox. I mean, you heard the remixes in the direct itself are absolute bangers, and there's even some vocal tracks because of Pauline being a singer. I mean, you gotta imagine like we're gonna hear stuff like Sticker Brush Symphony, Aquatic Ambience, Gangplank Galleon. Even it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're going to get all those remixes, and you can guarantee they won't credit David Wise in the credits.
Yeah,
that was probably the thing that I was thinking the most when hearing it, which was annoying because the music they were playing was fantastic. Um,
yeah.
yeah, like you
The-
say, the
it-
remixes just they're going to go crazy.
it's gonna be frustrating if they don't credit a lot of that original Rare stuff in the credits because it's like you look at this, it's like they're so obviously taking so much from the Rare games. Like it's clear like they really do respect the Rareware Donkey Kong games and like what Rare was able to do for that IP. And I mean, they have a lot of the Rare characters. They have Diddy and Dixie in the trailer, which is awesome. And it's like, yeah, these are not just like, oh, Rare made these characters, but we're doing our own thing now. It's like, no, these characters are part of Donkey Kong lore, and they're very important. And I want them to be credited within the credits, but knowing them, it's like, it doesn't seem
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, especially after the Mario movie and using the Donkey Kong music in that and not crediting it's I just have zero faith in them at this point.
100%. But I do want to talk about the developer. I saw this tweet from Reese Kiwi Talks Riley. He's kind of a game developer interviewer who tends to do a lot of. Sorry if you hear my cat meowing. He's a game developer interviewer who does a lot of stuff regarding like kind of talking to devs and trying to get like some not investigative work, but just like learning about the development of games. He's put out this tweet that's interesting. DK Bananza is being developed by a new team that was spun off from the Odyssey team. There's a lot of younger devs on the Odyssey team that grew up playing the DKC games and wanted to make one. And then I've heard the Kremlings are making a return. 3D Mario is still on the way. Now, this is I really hope this is true scenario because you and me, Jack, we're big Odyssey fans. We love that game. And
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I just want to know what the follow up like from that team is like in regards to 3D Mario. And I don't want to say they would waste their time on this, but this always seemed like either a smaller project or a splinter group. And according to Kiwi Talks, it's like that very much is the case. This is kind of a Captain Toad scenario where it's like a part of the Mario team decided to go off and make their own thing. And I'm interested in that idea personally. I also really love the idea of the Kremlings making a return, which I don't. I kind of heard that theory of like, oh, maybe Void Company, like it's actually like the Kremlings in disguise or something. I love that idea. I don't know if it's true, but I would. I'm super down for this if it is true. I know Kiwi Talks has a decent track record, all things considered, as well.
Yeah, I'm not particularly familiar with this leaker or this interviewer, but I think my theory is definitely that this isn't the Odyssey team. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that there aren't people who worked on Odyssey not working on this. Again, we talked about like the shop and UI and everything like that, and it's like, yeah, you can see there's DNA in it, but
I just don't think it's the full Odyssey team at the very least.
yeah, exactly. I still think a 3D Mario is coming within the next. It might not be next year, but it might be like the year after. Certainly isn't this year. um,
Yeah, bench.
oh, it's nice to hope. But yeah, I'm seeing the Kremlins come back would be really cool. I do worry that like there's a part of it that would be like, oh, we asked for the Koopalings to return for so many years, and when they returned, they were like, oh, we're tired of them already. So I'm a little worried that would happen, but nah,
I
it'd be
I will
great.
never get tired of the Kremlings. I think with the Koopalings, the moment I really felt like I got tired of them was when like they were like the only new characters in Mario Kart 8. And it's like, well, I already hate these guys. But like the
Yeah,
Kremlings, they're not in Mario Kart. Let's put K. Rool in there, you know?
that would be pretty cool.
Uh let's move on to the first story I wrote down, not nearly as exciting. Marathon development update. I got this from the actual Bungie website. Thank you for not only your passionate feedback around the marathon reveal and alpha playtest, but also for your patience while we took time to listen closely and chart our next steps. Though through every comment in real life conversation. Okay, I'll just be honest. There's a lot of fucking bullshit here. We've made the decision to delay the September 23rd release. The alpha test created an opportunity. Okay, this actual sentence pissed me off. The alpha test created an opportunity for us to calibrate and focus the game on what will make it uniquely compelling, survival under pressure, mystery and lore around every corner, raid-like endgame challenges, and this shit. Bungie's genre-defining FPS combat. That game was 25 years ago, guys. You cannot still be like, yeah, we made Halo, guys. It aggravates me, dude. I'm like getting tired of them always saying Bungie's genre-defining FPS combat.
You know what the funny? So this is another thing where like we spoke about last week, and you asked me if it's going to get delayed, and I think I said no. So last week's episode, just don't even listen to that at this point. We're so outdated already. I so yeah, I said I didn't expect a delay, but at the same time, it's not too surprising. I still think it will probably make this fiscal. I think it'll be like early next year. They did say they're going to reveal a new date still this year, so they can't be pushing it that far back.
Yeah.
Those.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go. No, I was going to say one of the. Go on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
One of the funniest things about like the delay was them mentioning that they're going to add things to tie it into the original marathon trilogy. And it's
I wanted to bring it up, yeah. So some of our immediate focus areas will be upping the survival game, more challenging and engaging AI encounters, more rewarding runs with new types of loot and dynamic events, making combat more tense and strategic, doubling down on the marathon universe. Okay, this is a funny one. Increased visual fidelity. It's like okay. More narrative and environmental storytelling to discover and interact with, a darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy, then adding more social experiences, a better player experience for solo duos, proximity chat, which was like the big thing that everyone was saying you need to have, and they were like, "Oh, we don't know," and now they're like, "Yeah, okay, we'll add it." They finally relented. I don't know about this game, to be honest, Jack, about its success and how it affects Bungie as a whole. I was very confident it would get delayed, but I'm currently in the state of mind that I think it needs a full year delay at least, which sounds aggressive, but it's also like, yeah, it needs a full year delay because it's clear that the alpha test did not go over as well as I think they were wanting it to.
Yeah, I still, like I said last week, I just worry that if they did a year delay, they'd launch it with a load of content, and then their first year plans would be fuck all. There'd be no content left to really. Yeah, you'd have like a Halo Infinite thing where it's like, oh, day one will be a great game, but no one's going to stick around because the roadmaps was relying on the first year of content, which would now be in the game. Exactly. So it's a weird one. Like I say, it probably comes out before the end of the fiscal. I wonder if it's like, I don't know, February. It launches right next to Requiem just to upset people, especially Fusion. But yeah, it is what it is. I can't pretend I'm excited or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I want to be interested in it because I haven't ever played an extraction shooter. I barely even understand what they are. So I'm like, okay, maybe I give this one a shot. But it's also like the $40 price tag. I feel like it's something that kind of scares people off. And I'll be honest, man, Sony really is just bad at this live service thing. I always thought, like, looking back at Concord, I'm like, why didn't you guys at the very least put it on PS Extra? Like, that just felt like such an obvious thing. But it was a bit of their hubris acting like, yeah, well, we're good enough. We don't need. People will pay for it no matter what because we're Sony and we put our name on this game. And looking at Marathon, it feels like a lot of Bungie hubris where they're like, yeah, people will pay no matter what. It's like, I don't think you're in that space anymore to where people pay for your game no matter what.
Yeah, I wonder if like the delay means that they can like reevaluate the pricing strategy. Like, I don't think it's going to be free to play, but maybe it's not 40 either. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, and this does mean it comes out after Arc Raiders, and maybe they can pay attention to how people react to that.
That's true. Yeah, just have the same game but without the AI voice acting, and you're already winning.
Yeah, really. It is funny though, like going from Donkey Kong Bonanza to Marathon. I'm like, damn, people would rather play Marathon Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, what nerds, am I right, Jack? Like, what's wrong with those
Man.
people?
Yeah, it's insane. You've got to feel sorry for them to a certain extent.
That's what I'm saying. Next up, speaking of Requiem, we have a Capcom Spotlight, which is always an exciting time. Not really. Mario 64 has this Capcom Spotlight announced for June 26th, for 3 p.m. Pacific time. I will be at work when this is happening. God damn it. Featured titles: Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, Monster Hunter Wild, Street Fighter 6. All right, Jack. We know the deal with these presentations. Probably mostly a whole lot of nothing with little tidbits of news every here and there.
Yeah, I think Andy Robinson was saying that to be honest, if they just show the demos that they showed at SGF to like people that can actually see the Requiem demo that the press saw, it'd probably be a pretty solid event. It wouldn't have any news in it,
Demos
but
are really cool.
yeah, it'd just be cool to actually see what everyone else saw, like the Pragmata demo, the Resident Evil demo, the what else is there? Some Street Fighter rubbish, Monster Hunter, which
Street Fighter DLC and Monster Hunter DLC.
yeah, so you kind of know what to expect from those. But yeah, you know the other ones I'm interested in. I'm kind of glad they're not doing another trailer for Onimusha. I'm like,
Yeah, at
I'm
this
ready.
point, I'm like,
Like
just give it
I'm
to me.
excited for. Yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll probably get news out. I think did the Six Player Bullet games come? If they haven't said it
Resident Evil
almost
is,
certainly will be. Yeah, I
which
think
I
Capcom's.
assume also means
Yeah,
Onimusha will be.
yeah, they'll probably just have a big show there. So we're gonna get plenty for that. So I'm glad that that's not here as well. Either way, I probably won't watch this live, but I'll probably check it
Same.
out afterwards.
Do you think either Pragmata or Onimusha could hit the January release date and then Resident Evil in February and then hit the ground running from there for Capcom's 2026?
I was actually gonna ask you about this. I think
Oh, okay.
Onimusha's January. In
Yeah,
like,
same.
do you remember like 2019 when we had Devil May Cry in the January and Resident Evil 2 in the February? I could
Oh,
see.
Devil May Cry was March.
Was it? Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
Resident Evil was January. Yeah, got them mixed up.
Man, completely forgot that.
I
Either way, my point
yeah,
stands.
of
They're
course.
both in the same quarter. So yeah, I think those two are the likely ones, and then Pragmata could be a little later in the year, maybe spring, summer.
Yeah, Pragmata seems like something maybe later in the year still. I'm excited for all of these. Well, okay, I don't care about Monster Hunter Street Fighter personally. I'm happy they're doing well. They seem to be doing good shit over there. But Pragmata, Resident Evil, and Onimusha, I'm like top of most anticipated for all three of those games. I'm so ready to see what they all are. I am just curious why we need a presentation, especially when we kind of just got a reveal for two of these. It's like at this point, it almost feels like Capcom does these showcases just to say, "Yeah, we could do showcases too."
Yeah, I guess it's just part of the maybe they were going to show the gameplay trailer at SGF, and then they were like, yeah, well, we could save that, and we'll sort of have like conversation around these games 3 times. We'll have the reveal, the journalist embargo, and then showing it. So I guess they're just keeping it in our heads constantly.
Yeah, they want to make sure that Onimusha comes back in a big way, and I think they like constantly marketing these games because it keeps it in people's headspace. You know, especially when time comes for like most anticipated lists, moving into like game of the year lists and all that.
Yeah.
Moving into our next story, this is a funny one. Metroid Prime 4 ad on London Underground claims the game is out now. And then an update, which happened earlier this morning, Nintendo tells VGC the advert is incorrect. This is Jordan Midland VGC. An image of the ad captured by VGC at Oxford Circus Tube Station in London. Have you been there, Jack?
Probably, I don't remember it.
Okay. Gives information on Metroid Prime 4 along with an out now message. At the time of writing, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond doesn't have a release date, and the game hasn't been, quote, shadow dropped on the Switch 2 eShop. Update. Nintendo spokesperson has told VGC that the advert date is incorrect and Metroid Prime 4 is not out now. We can confirm that the out now message on the advert is incorrect. They're still slated for 2025. It is funny, Jack. The moment I saw this, I'm like, this isn't gonna be a big deal. It's just like obviously like a misalignment. And then I listened to Game Mess Decides, and Jeff and Mike were like, oh, dude, this could mean it's coming out soon, maybe. Oh, what? And I'm like, man, they've been working in this industry way longer than me, and even I know this is obviously just a stupid mistake by an advertising company.
I mean, I just don't get the confusion. This game's been out for days in the UK. Are you saying you guys don't have it yet? I don't know.
You're playing it right now? Go, bro, send me
Yeah,
a copy. Holy shit.
no, like you say, I'm not looking into this very deeply. I think this is just a simple mistake. They saw the same person who was making the Mario Kart one put both on, and these things
Yeah,
happen. It's
just a mess up.
yeah.
It was just a funny story throughout the night of like, is it getting shadow dropped? And I'm like, guys, they are not shadow dropping a game that's been in development, but like in some sort of development since at least 2017. Like, that's the last game that would shadow drop.
That being said, when are you expecting its launch?
This is what I wanted to bring this up with you, kind of like filling out the rest of Nintendo's calendar. So right now we have Bonanza in July. Now Drag X Drive doesn't have a release date, Jack. Do you think Nintendo does the right decision and just cancels it?
No, that's going to be their big game for August. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands expansion. Sorry, that's being skipped for Drag X Drive. That's the main thing. We're all going to be playing Drag X Drive.
I really hope that it's their August game. I have enough in August to play.
Just random. How much do you think that game's going to cost?
I promise you, it is at least 50.
Yeah, I think I think it might be
People will
50
pay
or 60.
50 for that game. Oh my god, dude! It's gonna be the next Welcome Tour where people pay 50 is like, wow, this isn't even worth 10. Oh man, I can't wait for that. That is one of the most like un Nintendo games I've ever seen in my life. Like I remember even watching it during the direct, thinking, "Oh, okay, this is an easy skip." Just immediately seeing it.
Yeah, if it just had like the slightest bit more personality, it could have been like this year's Arms, where like, yeah,
Yeah,
it sells well, but no one really remembers it. But no, there's very little for this game. And again, it's just one that would have been so much better at launch, at least.
exactly. Like, why was it even a launch title? Like, what are you working on? Like, this is so weird. And that's something I could also kind of say about Metro Prime 4, where I'm curious, like, huh, I feel like maybe there was a chance this game was originally meant for launch and it just barely missed out. I mean, that's why like this is like an old advertising thing that when it was originally meant to be a launch day thing. I'm curious at what that would mean because I feel like all the people complaining about the Switch 2 launch lineup would have been real quiet as if Metro Prime 4 was a launch title. And I'm not saying those people are wrong for complaining. It's just something that like this is the type of game that I think people were really wanting for a big Nintendo launch system.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is like they didn't want to risk Mario Kart eating into Metroid sales, but I mean, people want games to play right now.
Exactly, yeah. If I had to take a prediction, I think Metroid is September. We have Pokemon in October, Hyrule Warriors November, and then I think Kirby makes it at the end of December with the Air Riders.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, I think. Yeah, the only one I'm like thinking about is like I don't know if Metroid is September, but
I really hope it. I hope it's sometime soon because I just want to fucking play this game, Jack. All I can think about is Prime 4.
my concern is it's going to be October when all the other games are coming out, and they have like
Dude. Dude. I mean, September has a lot of games coming out too. I feel like they don't really have a good. I think they want to avoid October, just like Pokemon's there. So Nintendo is more
yeah,
like game a month.
yeah, but they're weird.
Yeah, sure.
And Dread was October, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm thinking it. September
I,
would probably be best. Well, to be honest, something like August would probably be better for them because well, we have a load of games to play that month. It probably would fit better, but I don't
yeah,
know.
like early August. I feel like it would actually fit in pretty well. Like I would make time for this game pretty easily. We got too many games to play though, Jack.
Yeah, just a few.
Moving into our next post, kind of keeping in the Switch 2 realm. We have a kind of discussion about the Switch 2 and third parties. Christopher Dring at the Game Business kind of started this conversation. It was the biggest console launch of all time, but was Nintendo Switch 2 a success for third parties? And then What are the numbers? 62% of Switch 2 physical game sales in the US were from first party games, excluding the Mario Kart World Bundle. 48% of Switch 2 physical games in the UK were from first party, excluding the Mario Kart World Bundle. That's Nielsen. Oh yeah, and the US was the first one. Okay, my bad. Misread it. And for launch month of Switch 1 in the US, 81% of US physical game sales were from first party games, aka just Breath of the Wild and 1-2 Switch. Sega was the number 3 biggest publisher on Switch 2 at launch. And then when it comes to games both released both physically and digitally, over 80% of Switch 2 game sales came from physical retailers. And then this is the stats that are interesting. What do the numbers mean? Although third-party publishers appear to have done slightly better during the launch of Switch 2 compared to Switch 1, it's hard to describe these statistics as positive. Most third-party Switch 2 games posted very low numbers. One third-party publisher characterized the number as below our lowest estimates despite strong hardware sales. The improvement over Switch 1 launch is also slightly misleading. For starters, there were more consoles sold this time. Plus, the Switch 1 only launched with 5 physical games: Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Just Dance 2017, Skylanders Imaginators, and Super Bomberman R. What a police lineup right there, man. That is a very funny group of 5. By comparison, the Switch 2 had a wider selection with 13 physical games available at launch. And then Matt Piscatella threw his hat in the ring, where 64 kind of brought this up from Blue Sky. Matt Piscatella, hate to contribute to a discourse, but third-party share of Switch 2 software in the US is far better than it was during the Switch 1 launch. Third-party unit share of Switch 2 physical software during week 1 reached just shy of 40%. For month 1 of the Switch launch, it was less than 20%. It's far too early to claim best or worst, this or that or whatever when it comes to Switch 2. Sheesh, the thing hasn't even been out for 3 weeks yet. Cheel Winton, I don't know, maybe his cat pressed the keyboard there. And then Circata Retail for source. Very interesting, all things considered. And then also, there was one more thing. Cyberpunk 2077 was the best-selling third-party game. Has the game actually on the cart, beating launch sales of Witcher 3 on Switch 1. Lots of interesting info there in regards to third-party games on Switch 2. I will say, I don't know if this was around the time where I would expect these numbers. I do think the thing needs to be out a bit longer. I feel like there's a lot of factors in regards to what the Switch 2, these third-party games not selling as well as I think some people were expecting to. Big thing, the console's expensive, and a lot of people can only afford one game, and that one game is going to be Mario Kart. And then another thing, and maybe to a lesser degree, but us physical bros can use this as our glass moving upwards moment. A lot of the third-party games were game key cards because Nintendo only created 2 versions of the fucking cartridges for third-party CUs, which is very funny. And also, Jack, I want to ask you, that third party that said below our lowest estimates, that's Square Enix, right? There's no way it isn't.
I thought it might have been Sega, to be honest.
Do you think? But they were one of the better ones, weren't they? They were the number 3 publisher.
Yeah, but even this could still be lower than we're expecting. People are saying, oh, Cyberpunk's really high because it's in the top 3, and it's it could still be below their expectations. I don't know what the competition really was. We don't have exact numbers, we just have some physical numbers. I think it was Daniel Ahmed mentioning this, that Cyberpunk might not have done as well as people are just assuming just from it being in the top 3. So it's a bit of a weird one there. And also, Sega likes to complain about their expectations a lot too. People just don't clown on them as much as Square Enix. And Sega released Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, so they kind of deserve it.
Well, I will argue for Sega's sake. At the very least, with their big AAA games, they seem to always be happy with the sales successes. Square Enix, every time they release anything, it's below expectations. I think they're way more egregious than Sega.
Listen, I just gotta stand up for my goats, You're
gonna stand up for Square Enix? Oh god. Man, it's Square Enix or Sega, the devil or Satan.
Listen, Embracer Group's in the other room, I'm ready for them too.
But what are your kind of read on the numbers overall, though, dude?
I'd love to take this as a massive win for physical games, really telling the publishers what for.
Can't.
In truth, I'm going to be more realistic than that and say Yeah, it's mostly just because it's a launch. These are all old games. I don't think people are rushing to buy the Switch 2 to play Bravely Default. I'm sorry, Bench. Most people aren't. Um,
Oh man,
and like,
no one is. I think he may have been the one sale of that game.
hey, I'm happy for him. If it had looked like a better remaster, I might have joined him. But
If they
nah,
didn't do the chibi art style, that's the only thing that stops me from playing a Bravely Default game. Is like, oh, I hate looking at it.
I like the aesthetic, but I like it more on 3DS. It doesn't really fit as well on Switch, I don't think.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
other than yeah, so no one's really buying these because no one really feels they have a reason to. They probably will start
Mhm.
selling better as the generation goes. Um, the keycard thing, again, I'd love to like say, oh, that's putting everyone off. No one's going to buy them. Most people probably don't even know. They're just buying them regardless.
Yeah.
Um, like I think the best one on the bestsellers list, just underneath Cyberpunk, Street Fighter was right there. So like,
Yeah.
it's people are still going to buy the key cards. I will say, looking at like the fact that it's still an 80% physical digital split, still that does like it fills me with warmth. I'm just like, hell yeah, we are still. I
We're
wasn't
still there.
expecting this. We're still
Wait,
there.
wait, where are
People
you
are still
seeing
buying
that?
physical.
So wait, oh, is that for the UK physical games?
I think so. I read it just a moment ago, and I've already forgotten.
Oh yeah, yeah. 86% of Switch 2 physical game sales in the UK were from first party games. Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
and
that
just
just says 86% of the physical game sales were first party games. I don't think it's
yeah, but
saying 86% of Switch 2 games.
just below that, when it comes to games released both physically and digitally, over 80% of Switch 2 game sales come from physical retailers, data shared from by publishers. I was referring to that
Oh,
one.
okay. Okay, my bad.
No, you're good. I was remembering all
It's all
these
big.
stats to fight people. Um, so that's still cool to see, especially since this the conversation around physical games on the Switch 2 has been pretty negative, and I've definitely been feeling it. But it's just good to see
Yep.
that it's still like that is still the main market for the Switch 2, and it is still weird that Nintendo is the ones abandoning physical so fast.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the overall conversation around third-party games on Switch 2 results. One thing I did want to bring up is something like a Deltarune. That is a game that launched on Switch 2 day and date, and I feel like that probably did really well. And I think like it's going to be the story as well as like a lot of indie games and smaller games are probably going to still do extremely well on Switch 2. I just wonder how like the AAA ports and just like day and date releases. I'm very curious about moving forward how they do on Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, like, let me ask you: are there any like third parties coming up for the rest of the year that you're like, oh, I want to get that on Switch 2?
Oh, not me. I don't care. I'm not a
Yeah,
handheld gamer. I play my stuff on console, and I would just get the PS5 version at that point. But I know for a lot of people, it is they want the PS5 version. I will say the whole thing. The Steam Deck fans have been way more annoying than usual lately, Jack. I'll be honest. So they've been a lot yappier about this stuff, and it's like, well, I would just rather play on Steam Deck because it just feels better. I'm like, man, I don't know. Every time I hold the Steam Deck is the worst experience I've ever felt playing a video game. But that's just me. I'm curious if Steam. I'm not curious actually if Steam Deck sales affect Switch 2 game sales because Steam Deck has sold not even 4 million. So there, I answered my own question.
yeah, Wii U bros, we keep winning. We have the
That's what I'm
best-selling
saying.
console.
That's what I'm saying, man. But yeah, Switch 2 seems to be doing well despite, I think, a lot of this going on. It was funny when I kept hearing people go like, Switch 2 is not going to sell well because it doesn't have a big marquee first-party game for launch. It's just Mario Kart. It's like, yeah, the Mario Kart that sold 78 million, like that franchise. I think
Yeah,
quality-wise, we can definitely debate it. I definitely agree there. Especially if we're going to talk about Mario Kart later. Like, there's a lot there that would have made it a better launch title. But like, let's not talk about like actual business sense. Like, very clearly, it worked out. People are playing Mario Kart.
yeah, like, and to be honest, even if Mario Kart wasn't there, I still think the Switch 2 would have sold millions on day one because everyone just wanted a new Switch. There's
Yeah.
like, I think the Switch 2 is going to sell incredibly well this whole year. After that, that's when we can start asking questions about like whether it'll keep up the momentum or whether it's
Yeah.
just sold to the sickos who wanted one.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very curious to see the momentum of the Switch 2 moving forward. Next thing here, we just have a lot of sales and player counts that I kind of wanted to bring up because I thought they were all cool. First up, Stellar Blade. Noble brought this up. Stellar Blade surpasses 1 million sales on PC in 3 days. Or altogether, 3 million copies across all platforms to date. Man, 1 million in PC in 3 days. This thing is very much made for the PC audience. Take take the good, or let's try to ignore the modding scene. But it seems like the PC audience is very much taking to this game, though.
Yeah, like these numbers massively shocked me. Like I remember them saying like I think they celebrated when it hit 1 million on PS5 and then they never mentioned it again. So it was like, oh, maybe it capped out around there, which is, it's still really good, but for a Sony published game,
It
it's
seems like
it's about what you expect.
the
For
way
them
this
to have three,
reads. Yeah. So the way it reads is that it sold 2 million on PS5 to date, and then it got the million on PC.
yeah, I definitely don't remember them ever saying that it had hit two on PS5, which is why I kind of just thought, oh, this
Yeah.
is gonna have like, I don't know, Bayonetta numbers and it'll be around there. Whereas I think this has already outsold most Bayonetta games, so
Oh, I definitely already outsold all of the Bayonetta games.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's deserved. The game's fucking awesome. Oh, okay. I say deserved. It's not as good as Bayonetta, but like still, it's very, very good, and I'm very happy to see it doing so well because I really love Stellar Blade. You have to imagine, yeah, Stellar Blade 2 is easily a day one PC game.
And is it also on another platform?
Oh, Xbox? No.
I didn't mean that one. I mean the. I don't know if you have the news story in
Oh,
here.
yeah, yeah. I was tempted to bring this up. There was a story about how the Stellar Blade team, they bought everyone's Switch 2s, which is a lot of money, so that's fucking awesome. But apparently, there's like kind of rumors about the idea of a Stellar Blade Switch 2 port, or at the very least, I think they said Stellar Blade 2 Switch 2 version. I don't remember.
It is weird. I'm not entirely certain that's what they're talking about. Like, I think the thing people were like getting up, starting to think about was the fact they said a platform expansion. I,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I think it's more like it's come Switch 2 than it is Xbox. But I
maybe Ouya.
don't. Finally, that is the game I was waiting for to play on Ouya.
That's what I'm saying.
I, these, especially like the Sony companies right now are like platform expansion also refers to TV. So maybe we're
Yep.
getting a show based on Stellar Blade. I think that's probably more likely what's going on.
It's also the crossover with Nikke that I think is going on right now. Their mobile game,
Yeah.
and that's probably also what they consider, along with their other game, Project Witches. I feel like it's just multiple prongs of like, yeah, we want to make Stellar Blade like an actual big IP, like that everyone's talking about, which is exciting. I really like that game. I think a sequel will alleviate a lot of my issues. Moving into another awesome Korean game. Again, dude, a lot of W's for Korea lately, in terms of game development, which is super cool to see. Lies of P has sold 3 million copies. Fully deserved. This was a really awesome game. Overture came out, and I imagine that also contributed to the sales counts. And let me tell you, Jack, I have been itching for a Lies of P replay and actually playing through the DLC on top of that. Because I was someone who really liked Lies of P, but I don't think I liked it as much as others, in terms of like, I thought the balancing in that game was really rough, in terms of like the bosses. But I heard they fixed a lot of those issues, and now I'm like, damn, I really want to get back into Lies of P because that was really, really, that was the closest a Souls like has gotten to reaching like From Software, and that's very high praise coming from me.
Any joy in securing that physical?
Yeah, I couldn't find any. It was weird. I don't know what's going on with the physical version. It probably had a really low print.
Nah,
I might have to
sucks.
eBay it. But yeah, really awesome game. Let us move into this one. Annoys me. This one gets me happy, but also annoys me. This is from the Crash Bandicoot Twitter account. Booyah! This one calls for a victory lap, and it's just a picture. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled has sold 10 million units sold through globally. This game is fucking awesome. It is a phenomenal kart racer. The reason that this annoys me, Jack, is because this game's still not on PC, doesn't have a PS5 or Xbox Series X version, and also just stopped getting updated completely. because Activision is one of the dumbest video game companies of all time. And now they're owned by the other dumb one. So now I'm like, oh god, okay. I want to believe that at the very least do a PC port, because like get this thing even more sales. It feels like Crash Bandicoot, because we saw Insane Trilogy sold 20 million, this sold 10 million, Crash 4 sold 5 million. Crash Bandicoot is an IP that matters. Like, just admittedly, like, yes, it is an IP that is big. We have to like actually like really utilize it more and more.
Do you remember the first big update this game got?
Yeah, what was in it? The microtransactions.
Yep. After all the reviews and everything were out, they added
Yep.
a store.
And I'll admit, like at the very least, it's pretty easy to ignore the store. It was mostly just cosmetic shit, but it's also like, god damn it, like let's stop. Can we just like make a good fucking Crash Bandicoot racing game and not have a lot of bullshit on top of it? Because also they did a lot of DLC like tracks, and that shit was gas. Like, I don't know, man, it's frustrating. But dude, that game is so sick. Uh, real quick, Jack, breaking news. Okami has this. Hang on, let me pull it up. Persona 4 Revival and Stranger Than Heaven will both release in financial year 2027 or beyond. That's between April 1st, 2026 and March 31st, 2027. Pretty big deal. This seems to come from a Sega financial quarter update. I mean, I'll ask you
Do you
now.
have the
Like,
whole thing? If you Oh,
oh,
sorry, I was going to say, if you look further up in the chat, Stephen Totila posted the whole thing. That sort of like says like fiscal year 2027, they have 4 mainstay titles and more, including European IP title, say fiscal year 28, and then like you say, the announced titles to be released in fiscal year 2027, well, after I assume, is Persona 4 Revival and Stranger Than Heaven. It's
oh, I
worth
see.
noting they are also, I think they said earlier this week that they are planning on revealing the future of the Total War franchise. So I imagine that's the European IP in question.
And I'm
As for all
seeing,
the others, it could be a bit of everything.
yeah, I'm seeing stuff here. Wow, okay, I completely missed this. Damn. I don't know how I missed this. I think I was just scrolling through chat really quickly. Yeah, so 4 mainstay titles. Production decided, this was funny, for the reinforcement of video adaptation development. There's Sonic 4 2027, The Angry Birds Movie 3 in 2027, and Golden Axe to be determined. They're making a Golden Axe movie?
Yeah, I think they're like, is it a series? It might be a series. I can't remember.
Oh, and then planning phase started for Outrun, Shinobi, Streets of Rage, Eternal Champions, and The House of the Dead. Man, they're just making so much shit apparently.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, what do you think about like this idea of like Persona 4 Revival and Stranger Than Heaven now seemingly releasing in 2026 to 2027? I mean, obviously they weren't going to come out this year, but like, do you think like either of them make 2026 at the very least?
You know, with RGG at this point, they'll probably have about 5 games over the next year anyway. So
Yeah, really.
I
I gotta
suppose
come watch it.
they're also doing Virtua Fighter, so maybe that's before Stranger Than Heaven. I suppose that's quite likely actually. That
Yeah,
could be.
probably.
So maybe that's next year, and Stranger Than Heaven is early 27.
Yeah,
That's
that
just
sounds right.
me guessing right now. As for
It's
Persona
tough to
4,
predict.
yeah, I mean, if you ask me and you, we think Persona 4 is years away because it looks like they've only just started, judging by the visuals. But
Yeah, they
that
were
could be
pretty
next year.
quick though. Yeah, that screams like early 2027, like a kind of the same area as Persona 3 Reload, just like right in the February area.
Yeah, and like I say, I think one of the big things they're pushing, right, like they even say on the this physical thing, they say like one of their top IPs is Total War, and there has been conversation around them doing crossovers with Star Wars. I think was one of the big ones.
Yeah, the Total War Star Wars game.
So I feel like that's like guaranteed for maybe next year to be one of their big pushes.
Sega's an interesting company. They got a lot of stakes in the fire right now. I'm excited to see what's going on. Persona 4 looks bad, but hopefully it'll look good. Persona 6, you have to imagine we hear something on it soon, Jack. I've been waiting fucking over a decade on this stupid fucking game, but apparently they just want to keep making remakes.
It's fine. We're gonna get Persona 5 remake to celebrate the anniversary.
That'd be so fucking funny.
They're
It's been,
gonna
it's been
do
too
it at
long.
this point. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
um, so Sonic Racing Crossworlds is obviously their big game for the rest of this year.
God,
All
that's
the
such a
media
funny game.
press is like, all the media seems really high on it. All that have played it, they say it's a lot of fun. I
I
can't
played
help.
that demo. It is actually really sick. I'm into it.
I it's weird to say, but like I almost wish I feel like I'd be more excited for it if Sumo was working on it instead of Sonic Team, because whenever I see Sonic Team's name attached to something, I just think, oh, this is gonna be, how do I
Fun.
say it? Made on a budget.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think playing it, I definitely felt some of the budget. But also, I was like, this is just a fun racing game. Like, this is like a genuinely really fun racing game with like cool ideas going on. It does scream 7 out of 10 energy. Also, I'll say my thing whenever I see Sonic Team working on something, I'm like, oh my god, you're not working on the next 3D Sonic. You don't have the full team on that. What are we doing?
Yeah,
Like,
and
come on, you guys have a good blueprint with Frontiers. This better not take away from Frontiers 2, because I feel like if you go into that, really go crazy, make the open world more interesting, oh man, we could be looking at the first 8 out of 10 Sonic game, Jack. Like, this is a big moment for the fan base.
it's also like, I know it's weird to complain about this because every other company is raising their prices to exorbitant amounts. So for
Dude,
Sega to be releasing something for a normal price, it just feels weird. But it is weird that this is like the most expensive Sonic game up to this point.
$70. Like, I looked at that game and I'm like, oh, that's like gonna be probably like a $50 budget game. It's like, no, it's 70 full price. Like, not even like $60 full price. No, no, $70 full price.
Like,
But
correct me if
also,
I'm wrong,
Jack,
but wasn't Frontiers 50?
I think Frontiers was 60. But
Was it?
here's the thing, though. Yeah, here's the thing, though, Jack. And I learned this with Sega. Never buy their stuff on day one because it always goes on sale. Like, Sega is like the new Ubisoft. Because I remember Frontiers coming out and it was like 60. Maybe it was 50. You might be right there. But then, like, I'm not joking. 2 weeks later on Black Friday, it was half off. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I'll buy it. It's just
Maybe
really
that's why I'm thinking it, because like it was just so fast. It was like the week after.
comically fast. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sega seems to be doing a lot of like things right now, and I mean, I'm excited about it. I think Sega is a annoying company, but they're doing a lot of the things I want them to do. Nowhere in this, at least from what I'm reading, nothing about Crazy Taxi.
you know what I'm shocked at? Nowhere in this, with all these banger new games coming out, do they mention Shinobi, which is actually their biggest release for the rest of this year. Screw Sonic Racing, screw Rido. Where the hell is Shinobi?
That is funny. It's like they say, yeah, Sonic Racing, Rido, and Football Manager are their big games. It's like you got a Shinobi game coming out. It's like I don't think do you guys not care?
Man,
Like,
they don't get it. They're just bitter that other companies are making Sega games better than them.
but man, I am really excited for the Shinobi game though. It looks
Oh, it looks so good.
it's insane. But yeah, I guess like yeah, I'm excited to see what Sega's doing. I want to know what Crazy Taxi is. Like I just tell me Sega because that's like a game I'm worried about, but I'm also like really excited.
Man, if only Midori was here to give us all the scoops.
Yeah, oh god, don't even. But no, that was one of the funniest sagas of all time when we learned everything. It was so stupid. All right, at least we know what color Persona 6 is now.
Yeah, apparently so.
Next up is Rematch. Rematch hits 1 million players on its first day. Sam Sepio and Insider Gaming has this. Slow Clap has just announced that its latest third-person soccer title has reached an incredible milestone: 1 million players on the first day. Pretty not much to say here, Jack. I know soccer is extremely popular, not really too surprised that it's doing so well. I guess I'm a little surprised actually. It's one of those things where it's like I know soccer is extremely popular, but I feel like most soccer fans would just sorry, you're UK. Most football fans would be interested in just playing FIFA. But I have heard like latest FC games have been pretty rough. Like even by the standards of EA Sports games, they've been even worse than usual. So I think now like a lot of football fans are like, yeah, just give me like real football here, like just a fun, different style on it.
Yeah, I think it's like you say. It's like I'm surprised that those people are willing to try something that doesn't have the brand name attached. Like I thought, oh, they need that FIFA IP or the EA Sports IP, but willing to try something like this, 1 million. That's really good for a team like this. I'd be lying if I said I cared because they made a sports game, but
Yeah.
it's no, I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this is the much better football than American football. American football is boring as shit. This is actually like soccer's fire as fuck.
Yeah, it's all the same to me.
Next up is Open Critic, aka Reviews of the Week. Jack, Rido Remastered got its reviews.
Oh, let's
79 on
go.
Open Critic. Lots of 7s and 8s. This is a remaster of a PS2 game, if I remember correctly, from Atlas, the SMT multiverse. So there's like fucking 80 different SMT verses. This is one of them. I intrigued by this game. I know Jack's jumping in, or not Jack, Jat. Jat's jumping in on this. I would like to check it out, but I know how these Atlas games are. They're going to be extremely long, and it's like, I got so many other games to play. I don't think I can spend the time on this one, sadly.
Yeah, it does look cool, and like I'd never actually heard of it up to now, so I probably will go and buy the PS2 version. But yeah, there's no way I'm getting to it anytime soon.
Yeah, the fact that it's an action RPG is what's interesting to me. By the
Yeah,
way,
definitely.
I want to hear your take on the discourse that was happening last week. But like
Uh,
our boy Okami Games, the GOAT, he made a tweet about like, oh, I think all like most and all turn-based games should have a parrying like kind of active battle system like Expedition 33 does. And then my man was getting dragged. I don't know how you. What's kind of your take on that? What do you think? Like all RPGs should have like at the very least like Paper Mario style combat systems moving forward.
I do not. I love
Yeah,
Expedition
here with you.
33. I think it's a fantastic game. I think what they achieved is incredible. I don't think that same system would work in every game, especially an apps game, which is what a lot of people are talking about. Like, oh, this would be great for the next Persona game. It's like, my God, if I had this system, I, the thing I love about Persona 2 games is like, yes, they are unbelievably long, but the combat system, you can just
It works.
you can put as much effort into the combat as you can into all the other things in the game, be it like mostly the social links. And Expedition 33, as much as I adore it, it requires your full attention. Can't be you can't be putting on a podcast and grinding in that game because you have to be paying attention to the parries and everything. So, and that is kind of something I like in Atlas games, especially Metaphor. I thought just switching on a podcast and grinding in that game it was therapeutic. It really was.
Yeah.
So, and again, I don't think it's good. I think if Persona took anything from this game, it shouldn't be the turn-based. It should be the pacing. But that's just me. As for like,
Oh, that's fair.
yeah, as for turn-based games in general, I definitely think this system is cool. I want to see other games try it. I don't want to see every game try it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's yeah. I
yeah,
haven't
that's pretty
played.
much.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I haven't played Expedition, so I can't really say too much on its combat system. But I'm gonna use the actual better RPG, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, as my example. Um, and I love Paper Mario combat and just the active time battle system of it. And maybe not ATB, that's Final Fantasy, but the active battle system of like constantly you're paying attention and press the A button here and all that. But I think where it kind of lags behind for me, and at least from what I've heard with Expedition, is it's very skill based. And like, listen, I love my skill based games, Souls fan over here. But I think it's the case of like I think a lot of people just play JRPGs, and I know for me, like I really like certain JRPGs. I'm just chilling out, and that's something that I get from Persona of just screwing around in mementos and like grinding or just in general, like kind of more like strategy based gameplay when it comes to that specific turn based rather than the expedition like you are actively focusing on like making sure you get your parries off. Like I've seen people beat certain bosses they weren't meant to beat just because they were really good at parrying. But I like how Persona is. No, you have to actually like set up your character in a way that you can take down certain bosses, and that type of combat really, really speaks to me. The same way that an active battle system also speaks to me. And I think, hey, let's just have both. I think both is good. Like I don't think we need to have one or the other. And I
Yeah,
think Persona and also Pokemon, like I like just like I like just basic turn-based. I am a fan. Dragon Quest 2. Like I like just basic by the numbers turn-based because God, those are the best games to watch a podcast to.
yeah. And this game is so unbelievably like perfect with its timings for the most part, that I would honestly worry that another game wouldn't be able to pull it off as well. Like they would have slightly off timings, the sound wouldn't be correct. Whereas this game put in all of their effort into that, and I just wouldn't trust every other developer with it. That being said, the big Expedition 33 news of the week that isn't on the dock, you got a physical copy.
Yeah, that's true. It was funny because Amazon is really funny because they said, "Hey, it's coming out. Oh, you're gonna get your physical copy in July." Um, and then it was like, "No, actually, it's here next week." And it's like, "Okay, well, damn, I don't have it." I'm kind of just like fully on the mind of I don't think I'm gonna get to it this year. I just don't. I have a lot of other stuff
Man,
I'd much rather play. Nothing against the game. It's just not something that's been appealing to me personally. But there's a lot of other stuff that just looks way more exciting to me that I'd want to get to before it. But I bet it's a really good game, and I think eventually I'll get to it. But it is funny, Jack. I alphabetically sort my games, and it's really funny seeing Expedition 33 right between Callisto Protocol and Concord.
listen, 3 Game of the Years in a row, and it's just incredible.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what?
um,
I'm not too
yeah,
bothered
go.
you won't get to it before the Soggies. I'm worried that you're going to get spoilers. That's genuinely the only
Oh, I've
thing.
been spoiled.
Man,
I don't care. It's fine. I'm not that much of a story guy.
sorry, so good though.
It wasn't like the spoilers I got were like, okay, yeah, I kind of saw that coming. So I'm not
It,
that upset about it.
yeah, don't worry too much about the Soggies because I refuse to let a French game win, so it's fine.
Good man. That is that you were saying that. It's like you were saying something funny about like a French game is gonna win before a British game does. And my immediate thought was GTA, but I'm like, wait, no, they're Scottish, and I know the UK does not like that when you associate those two.
Well, my problem is that the last GTA game was before the Game Awards started, so it's
Yeah, true, true.
been so long.
Hey,
And even then, Last of Us won most of the prestigious ones, even though it didn't get the highest rating.
weirdos, man. GTA 5 was so much better than Last of Us. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy. I'm still upset about that.
No comment.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Mr. Jack. Oh, I like a game where I just press forward on a control stick in it. Now, granted, I'm not going to continue because that's kind of GTA at points. But still, I just want to say GTA 5 is more fun. I like flying a jet around and blowing up helicopters.
Yeah,
That's all I'm going to say.
that part I agree with. It is the more fun game.
Speaking of fun games, FBC Firebreaker, I guess maybe the opposite of fun. That got reviews sitting at a 64 on OpenCritic. Our main man Fusion was playing it. I wanted to get him on, but he's in the middle of a move. But I really wanted to hear his thoughts on this game personally. He didn't like it, and it seems like a lot of critics didn't like it either. It seems like this was kind of just like a multiplayer side thing from Remedy. Overall, didn't seem like the experiment worked out well. You'd say, Jack, right?
This is you're gonna hate me for this. This is kind of where I expected Night Rain to land. So it's quite nice seeing that one got decent reviews.
64. You
Not
say
not
decent?
quite
It's
not
sevens
quite
and eights. What are you,
not quite.
bench?
No, I mean in terms of like overall vibe, like less so in the reviews. Uh, so it is cool seeing that one actually did pretty well, and this one is the one that it was like, yeah, okay, so fair enough. There, there, there
Hey,
seems to have
listen,
been,
it seems like Night Raid has more content at the very least, because apparently this game could be beaten in 3 hours.
yeah, there just seems to be a genuine lot of passion behind this, and I am glad that Remedy got to get it out of their system. But man, I hope I hope the servers can be kept on, if
Yeah,
nothing else. Like
this game
make
needs
a
to be preserved. Damn it.
yeah, make an offline mode, just as an option for it. They might already have one, but I don't think it does. And then just let it live.
Yeah, it's just so funny because it's like the one thing they really suck at is shooting, and they decided to make a first-person shooter. It's like, wait, I don't think you guys realize how important like shooting is in an FPS, but okay. I was watching
Yeah,
someone play it, and I'm like, wow, this just does not look fun. And it's a $40 game. Now, granted, I think they probably got their bag with PS Plus Extra and Game Pass that added a lot to it. But damn, it is really funny to see how just apparently kind of a waste of time this seemed to have been for Remedy. And I don't want to say complete waste of time because it seems like they probably got their bag and hopefully at least learned some lessons. And I don't think this will affect like the Max Payne remakes or Control 2, but it's just like maybe it would have been better to just focus your time on those.
listen, that Game Pass and PS Plus bag, that's gonna fund the next game because it probably made more profit than it did the last one did.
Yeah, man, I always think back to like Alan Wake 2, where like it was like 2 years before that game was profitable, and I was thinking like, how the fuck is it not profitable yet? Like it was on. Did the Epic Game Store like bag like really destroy it that badly? Probably that's the case because people just really hate Epic Game Store and they'd rather play it on Steam.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, because that's a good game. Like it's weird how it just didn't necessarily reach a mainstream audience, but Remedy games tend not to, sadly.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it for the news this week. Jack, you and me have been playing Mario Kart World. I have my final take on it.
Let's go.
I would officially say, and we were talking about this, I don't want to say very, I am disappointed in this game. It is not what I really wanted it to be. And I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, I'm going to put this down until there's updates. Until it gets updated, gets the stuff it needs to really actually be the full-fledged Mario Kart World that I think I really wanted it to be. And I'm not even talking about DLC, but just straight up quality of life things to make the overall experience better. Like the P switches in the open world that aren't tracked. They're just like, you got one. It's like, okay, how many of like P switches have I gotten? They're like, fuck if we know. So immediately that just annoys me as a completionist. Like, okay, well, you guys clearly don't want me to complete the game then. And then from there, just a lot of bland open world objectives to the point of like, yeah, this is clearly just an afterthought. This is just something they made, to say like, hey, we have something you can do in the open world, but actually we want you to pay attention to the road trip aspect. And then actually doing the Grand Prix and like online races, 24 players is too fucking much. I am now of the mind of like, it is reached to the point where the item spam in this game is dreadful. I'm just getting pelted to the brim with a bunch of random shit. Red Shell's still home, like their life depends on it. It is insane how they're still as broken as they were in Mario Kart 8, and now there's 24 people that can get red shells. I absolutely cannot stand blue shells still to this day. I still think it's a really insane game design decision, in my opinion. And I know Mario Kart's all about like goofy fun antics, but also it's supposed to also be just a fun racing game. And I feel like I have fun in racing games when I'm able to use my skill to win instead of just Mario Party rules. And I'm fine with Mario Party rules and Mario Party because, well, it's a party game. It's goofy and you're kind of meant to just play with friends and just screw around. It's not really a game of skill. Mario Kart, there is skill here, and there's a lot of awesome techniques with the rail grinding and the jumps and all that type of shit. And it feels like it's constantly reprimanded by well, actually, here's a red shell, and all your momentum is gone. It's very frustrating in that regard. It's always been frustrating, but here it's actually worse than it's ever been. Even in some ways worse than Wii, and I thought that was at its worst. I thought Wii was the absolute worst when it came to the item spam, but it seems like no, they officially made it even worse. And then from there, it's like I'm just kind of frustrated by like a lot of, like UI and quality of life choices. Like you have this incredible, I saw a 7+ hour soundtrack filled with remixes from one of my favorite IPs ever, and I'm just like hear the songs and I'm like, God, this is incredible. I'm obsessed with it. And there's no jukebox option. And also there's no like way to just like know what song is playing. They don't put it on the top bottom left of saying, hey, this is from Mario Galaxy. This is this theme. It's like no, just you have to guess most of the time. And also, there's just no like options menu to turn down the sound effects, so I hear the roar of my engine more than I hear Gusty Guard in Galaxy, which I never want to have. I guess it's like to me, and also last thing, the roster. Listen, I think it's cool that like Contour is there and like all these characters. Where the fuck is EGAD? I do not want these characters in exchange for like actual Mario characters. Especially like I don't even like the Koopalings. It's insane that they got cut, but Spike is in the game. That's just my take on that. I don't know. To me, Mario Kart World is a overall great game. It's still an 8 out of 10. I complain a lot, but it's still like the racing is very strong. I enjoy playing this game a ton, especially with friends. It's just filled with design decisions that lead me to being overall disappointed with it. But how about you, Jake?
I think everything you've said is fair, and I think there is a part of me that is disappointed. I do still think there's a part in my brain that's like, Jack, this game is 80 fucking dollars. Does it really need to be 80? It is insane that they charge this much.
Yeah.
However, as the game itself, I am still enjoying it a lot. I
Yeah,
do
no, same.
wish that there is a lot of things I wish I could do. I do wish I could find the P missions earlier, easier. Um, they should, if they want to be stupid about it, add a map to the Nintendo mobile app like they have for Breath of the Wild Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I don't care. Just give me a map.
Yes.
The music thing, yeah, I totally agree. I just want to listen to these songs. Um, even people are struggling to find other methods of putting the songs online because you can't hack the Switch 2 yet, which is a whole thing in itself. But I just want to listen to these songs. Like I think there was a remix of the. Oh man, I've put myself under pressure. I forgot the name of the song. I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
uh, the game itself, though, I am enjoying it a lot. The track design is I'm just gonna say it is a little unmemorable. Some of the tracks are
Yeah.
fantastic, but I mean, you posted a tier list of how you were feeling about a lot of the tracks in the game, and I felt terrible because I just didn't remember many of them.
Yeah,
Um,
because half of
and
the tracks is intermissions.
yeah, like I know you can go because I was online and I was doing the pause. If you press pause, you can bring up a list of all the tracks, and that's cool.
Hmm.
That's a really good idea. But no one else online knows that, so they're just picking
Yeah.
tracks, and you have to do the intermissions anyway. But even then, like I'm choosing between tracks that I've already forgotten. Like the only tracks I remember the
Yeah.
most from this game are like tracks like Toad's Factory, where it's like
Oh
I
yeah.
only remember that track because I've played it a million times in Wii. Um,
Well, that's the thing. I think the retro tracks are probably overall better because I know maybe not like design, like look of it, but I think just track design because they didn't get widened to shit. I think the problem with a lot of these tracks is that they're trying to accommodate 24 racers, so it's super wide and you're kind of just driving straight most of the time.
yeah, um, yeah, I agree, and
Mhm.
that's not to say there aren't great tracks. Like there are.
Oh yeah,
This Rainbow Road
Skywalk Ruins,
is, yeah, oh god, that's great too. Yeah,
Rainbow Road. Yeah,
great tracks. I I just I wish I was more. I wish I was addicted to it. I
yeah,
wanted
that's
to
a
be
great
playing
answer.
it
Yeah,
constantly. I
and like
but
yeah, you're way more of a Mario Kart fan than me, so like the fact that you're saying that is like wow, that says a lot, honestly. Because I like
yeah,
Mario
like
Kart, but like you love Mario Kart.
but like even when 8 came out, like it didn't even have that much content, but I still spent like hours at a time unlocking everything, doing all the Grand Prix, so I could get all the trophies for each one. And obviously, in 8 originally, you had to actually unlock everything. But like this time, I just maybe it's the fact that I know that I've got many years of playing this game, so I
For
don't
sure.
feel a rush. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I kind of wish I wanted to be playing it more, and like I've already kind of put it down for now, where I'm like, I'm gonna play something else. Um, that
Yeah.
being said, I am looking forward to playing it loads of times over the next many years. So it's like
Exactly.
I'm not. It's 100% not a bad game. It's great. It's just not the game I needed it to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think a lot of people are just feeling about it is like, yeah, there's so many good ideas. Like, there's a lot of ideas that I feel like are really good, but they just weren't workshopped. I will say Knockout Tour is fucking awesome. Like, I think that's a great mode, but it's also led to the amount of I also get annoyed playing it because hey, I'm getting just destroyed and pelted with items nonstop. It's
Yes.
it's just like one of those things where I'm like, I want Mario Kart. I've kind of accepted it. It's like I want Mario Kart to be something that it isn't. I want it to be like, oh, there's a lot of single player options. There's a lot of stuff to do on your own. There's a lot of like it's mostly a game of skill rather than like luck and item spam and whatever. And I feel like it's just like kind of accept like maybe that's just not Mario Kart. Maybe it is just the party game that I play with friends every now and then like I kind of screw around in the open world if I'm bored, but it's not the game that I'm like constantly playing and thinking about. But also, I mean, I'm not the Mario Kart guy to the extent of other people. You know, it's always been kind of a B tier franchise for me. And not in a bad way. It's just I'm not big on racing games usually. I just like play it. And I'm like, my Switch 2 game, Jack, was Mario Odyssey. And it's like that's just the feeling I have where I'm like, I'd just much rather play Mario Odyssey than Mario Kart right now because I feel like Mario Kart almost feels. And we were talking about it feels rushed, which I know it isn't. I know it wasn't rushed. This is a game that's been in development for a decade.
I wonder if this game had come out 5 years ago, if my tone would have been completely different on it, and like,
Oh, 100%.
oh, this is amazing. But the fact that we've waited 11 years is never going to make a game live up to that hype. I'm looking at you, Silk Song. So
Yeah, no,
it's
that's how I feel with GTA 6 sometimes. I'm like, oh man, is it gonna live? And I have faith, but I'm also like, after Mario Kart, I'm like, I don't know. I gotta be excited.
nah. Mario Kart's gonna like ruin the hype. We're gonna get to the most anticipated part, and we're just gonna be like, we can't be excited anymore. We have to
Yeah,
approach
games are
everything
dead.
with disappointment. Yeah. No, but like, I think the fact that it's my only Switch 2 game as well, like, I kind of want to be playing my Switch 2, but I don't particularly want to be playing Mario Kart right now. So it's like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll play something else. So
Yeah, I was encountering that issue where I was like, I was kind of in the middle of a Breath of Wild replay and like doing stuff, but like I was like kind of finishing up some Mario Kart races, and I just sat on the home screen. And I'm like, I think I'm, I think I'm good. Like
yeah,
I think I'm good on the Switch 2 for now, and it's not even necessarily like I'm disappointed. This is an exclusive machine for me. I've always accepted that, but like I'm just not like kind of running out wanting to like immediately play everything I own on it right now. I'm like, hey, I had my fun with it for its first week. It is a new console that I'm excited I own now. It is a stronger Switch, which I've been wanting for a long time. But I'm good to just like kind of get into it every now and then. Obviously, I'm gonna play my usual Tetris 99, my Panel de Pon, Pokeball Puzzle League, my usual puzzle shit because I'm a fucking freak. But like, I'm cool to set it aside for now and get ready for Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's kind of how I'm feeling. And I feel like the talk around Switch 2 would have been different if they said, "Hey, you're getting Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong day one." Now everyone's like, "Hang on, this thing's sick," because Donkey Kong looks like what I really wanted this console for.
man, that would have bankrupted me.
Yeah, yeah, 70 and 80. Come on, oof, man.
Yeah, you know it's bad when I switch my Switch 2 off and I plug my Xbox in. That is a
Oof.
bad sign. So
Yeah, it was just like sitting there on the home menu. It's like, I guess I'll jump into like Donkey Kong Country 2 on NSL. Why not? That's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
hell yeah. I mean, even like
Yeah,
Wind Waker, like I tried it. I was like, hey, this is cool. But like,
I want
I
HD.
want to play. Yeah, I want HD. So yeah, I
Yeah,
might plug my Wii U in at some point and get that kick.
yeah, I feel it. It's just a thing of like, yes, this thing is cool. I really like the Switch 2 a lot, but I'm like, it's already it fell to exclusive machine for me, which is fine. That's what I buy Nintendo hardware for. It's for the exclusives. And I always hear the people say, "Oh, it's collecting dust for their consoles," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, my consoles usually collect dust until the exclusive comes out most of the time. That's kind of how I just treat my consoles, and then I have my one main machine, my PS5. And I don't know, like I guess I'm not of the mind of like I'm have to constantly being like platform agnostic, playing every platform at all times, no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And like, maybe I'll feel different when there's like a third party game that comes out and I'm like, hey, I might actually get that on Switch too. Like, I don't know, Ragebound could have come out next month and I might be like, I could get this on PS5 or Switch 2. I might as well just get it on Switch 2. So like, there's stuff like that where I'm like, I like indies. Indies will be great on Switch 2, obviously. But even then, like,
Mouse mode games. I was playing Civ on it. It's very good.
oh yeah, I was wondering about that. Um, it's so weird that we don't have more mouse mode games to like test with the launch.
Insane, dude. It's like it's Civ and Welcome Tour. Like, what are we doing here, Nintendo? You're gonna have Drag X Drive. How is Drag X Drive not ready? What are you working on with that game? I'm sorry, I just have to question it.
As someone who doesn't own either of those games, my bigger mouse mode test was using the home screen, and it was just like, huh, they really made it a mouse.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I guess I always kind of had the idea of like, oh, what if in Mario Kart you could use the mouse mode as like kind of a steering wheel and like steer it with your mouse? Nah, that wasn't an option. It's like, okay, you guys really just didn't have much for mouse mode at launch, and I think Bop was saying the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird, but yeah, the tone will change when we have games, especially Donkey Kong.
For sure.
Unless that disappoints us as well, and then then it's over.
I mean, you saw that direct. We're good. Like we're gonna be eating. I'm feeling very good about that. I'm feeling very good about games in general for the rest of the year, Jack. I think this is an insanely strong year, comically strong year, actually.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that quarter plan at the end of this month again, where we look at the games coming for the next quarter.
I was gonna try to get a squad together next week for that. I'm excited to do it.
Hell yeah! Because God, there's so many games.
There is a lot of stuff right now, and I mean, dude, it's like kind of crazy. Like Death Stranding 2 is next week, and that's a game I'm gonna be knee deep in. For it looks at this point close. I think I'm gonna be playing Death Stranding 2 up to Donkey Kong, which is like, okay, damn. I guess there goes my entire July. I had some plans to do some backlog stuff, but that's a 70-hour game apparently with Death Stranding 2.
Well, just remember while you're playing it not to like it too much. I don't want to disappoint the man.
Yeah, I forgot about that article that he's like, he had to change the game because playtesters were liking it too much.
I swear, if he gets a 90, he's going to be heartbroken.
I love Kojima, but also, man, sometimes I can't fucking stand him. Which is like, that's how to me, that's what I want my favorite creators to be. Like, I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, but every time he shows up, because he does that thing where he shows up in his own movies, and every single time he is the worst actor. And I'm like, I can't fucking stand you, Quentin Tarantino, but also you make fucking peaks, so keep doing your thing. That's how I feel about Kojima.
There we go. Kojima is the Quentin Tarantino of video games. Sorted.
Unironically, yeah, kind of. Well, that's it, Jack. Unless you have any other games you've been playing that you really want to talk about.
Not particularly. Nothing new.
Okay, cool. Well, I think it's about time we head out of here. Thank you, Jack, for joining me for yet another duo cast. Hopefully next week we should be able to get more people in. It's kind of a different time. Fusion's moving and whatnot, so I want to try to get Fusion on soon because it's been a while. But yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys want to find us, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever your favorite podcast platforms. Pretty much on everything outside of that as well. Like the podcast and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Slice of Gaming. With that, I think we're about done. Say goodnight.
Bye.
Play Rido Remastered.
Or don't.